Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, woohoo, August 16th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, Nvidia, MSTY, SMCY, PLTY, this, that, the other thing. All right, but before we get to it, there was some discussion yesterday on the live about doing a group coaching, we'll call it, options trading discussion, whatever. I did make a post on YouTube yesterday. Please check it out if you are interested in the group session. It basically says just to email me with some information. Okay. And again, the idea is a lot of people over the past year were showing interest to me on one-on-one coaching to learn certain things. And maybe it seems like it's mostly about options. But it turns out a lot of people are not really comfortable with that. So I think they'd rather like the group classroom type session where they can hear others ask questions, hopefully learn from it, things like that. So my plan is to get 10 people, if they're interested, to sign up. And what I'll do is I'll schedule time. Well, I'll probably get like a list of 15 people just in case if some can't make it. And what I'll do is obviously I'm going to do it on the weekend. It'll be a Saturday or Sunday. Probably first, when I start off, I'm only going to do like $25 a person. Because, I don't know. We'll see how it goes though. Obviously 10 people, is it too much? Maybe not. This is like somewhat of a pilot version. But we'll take a stab at it. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll go from there. I have some names already that did email me. So thank you very much. I did log you. And I do have some names like I know Sunita and Anne, retire abroad possibly. I just want to make sure everyone knows that the post is out there. So if you are interested, I want to make sure that you're, part of the first group session. All right. There is no rush for this. In fact, I'm going to schedule it after I got this race coming up. I got to start training for it. It's early September. So I'm probably going to do this mid to late September, the first one. And it'll probably be a Saturday morning, to be honest. That would work best for me. Hopefully that works best for everyone else. It'll probably be after the live on the Saturday. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. If you guys are interested, just check out the post and respond accordingly. That's it. All right. Sorry to waste everyone's time in the beginning with that, but I want to make sure it's not missed. All right. So who had trades yesterday? Well, again, it was Friday, man. It was Friday. You know what that means? That means way too many had trades. So we're gonna get through this. I used to cover all of the funds on the Saturday video. I stopped in case you haven't noticed. You just can't. It's just too many. So, just ETF inspector. He covers most of the others, so you got to go to him. Or there's room for more people. If people want to start a YouTube channel, now's the time, man. These high yield ETFs, there are so many of them, man. There are so many of them. So there's so much more room out there for others to start, a channel. So if you're thinking about it, man, do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it. You'll get the support from me. You'll probably get the support from a couple others. Again, there's a good group of people out here. Anyway, let's get to it. I keep yip-yapping. But to be honest, I woke up freaking early. I don't even feel like doing this video, but we're just going to do it. We're going to do it to the best of our ability. All right. So let's just call yesterday a freaking disaster. All right. Disaster. I did make a tweet yesterday, and I was hoping the Misty gods would hear me because, man, we were ready. We were ready to be on Capity Duda. We had little covered calls and Misty and MSTR and the Bitcoin. Everything was red. So unfortunately, couldn't take advantage of it. But it is what it is, man. Obviously, our covered calls that were left over, they cost chump change, 4 cents, 7 cents. Okay, great, great, great. And then 4 cents. All right. So we won our trades, which is, good. It's fantastic, right? And then we open new positions for the next week and this, that, the other thing, as they say. How much did we make for the day? If you're curious, 57.5 million. So this is between closing out the old trades and opening up the new. All right. So, but again, the new ones that we opened, we have to close them at some point, right? And we'll see how that goes next week. All right, let's get to the MSTY file. This is, again, the individual MSTY file. We have 5 tabs for each, well, 1 tab for each synthetic. We have 5 synthetics. No change to the synthetics yesterday, so I'm not really going to get into those tabs. So we're going to go right into the weeklies tab and go from there. Here we go. So how did MSTR do yesterday? Not good. Not really, not good at all, honestly. And actually, it's not as bad. It felt worse than this, but it went down 1.78%. You know why though? Look at the last 3 days, man. Down 1.14, down 4.35, down 1.78. Like, good Lord. So it's been a little rough outing, we'll just say. And then MSTY yesterday, they actually went down more than MSTR. Because again, we said, our covered call position was minimal yesterday. So our synthetic, we were almost set up to go 1-to-1. In fact, we went down more than the underlying. So, I'm not going to say this, surprises me, but, it is what it is. IV, it was going up, and now it looks like today it's back down. But from the day before, it was 53%. And then yesterday, 56%. And then today we show 55 at the top. And then the 7-day, man, what happened there? 53%. So maybe IV's chilling. Maybe we're done with the sell-off. I don't know, man. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see next week. But let's see how much we made closing out these suckers. Did I? Yeah, so did I gray out? No, these are all in the... Yeah, so all the trades that were left, no, these were all the trades. There's not many. I'm actually just going to highlight them. So I'm going to go over here. Hold on a sec. This was honestly, there was a lot of trades yesterday, but the way it was set up, it was really easy, so I can't complain. But overall for the week, the trades that were set up for this week, at least the ones that were left over for Friday, they profited 43.3 mil. So yeah, man, it sucks that, the stock market was super red yesterday, but, we did make a decent amount of money on covered calls last week. So that's good. And then obviously we have new positions set up for the following week. So we'll take a look at that in the holdings. Outstanding shares, I can tell you that's continuing to go down. Another decrease. It went down by 325,000. But again, it's been going up for so long. You cannot be surprised of some sell-offs here and there. People get worried and they just jump out of things and they just see it going down and they just can't stomach it. And I get it, man. I get it. It is what it is. But, you can't, the stock market does not only go up. Obviously, it's been going up a lot, which is awesome. And then, you have a few rough days and, people can get worried and people can sell out. But again, been there, done that, right? Anyway, here's the recap. MSTY, how you doing? Well, MSTY's at 1786. Ouchie, right? MSTR 366.32. That $400 price, yeah, that's goner. That's a goner. It feels like we were just there. Now it's 366. The IVs sit around 55 to 53%. Outstanding shares 290 mil. Look at this, baby. Total net income 89 mil. Oh, baby. Distribution, 31 cents. Daily income, 2 cents, assuming I got the number of days right. Who the hell knows? Daily yield, 0.1%. And if you annualize that sucker, 36%. I am kind of talking low because right now the baby is still asleep. He decided to get up at 3 a.m. How kind of him. So I put him back down and hopefully he stays asleep. But, I kind of got to sing Gold Digger. I'm not going to lie, so I'll try to sing it without waking up the whole household. We'll see how this goes. So let's look how all the funds did. So again, there's various MSTR covered call ETFs. In fact, did I see that? I completely forgot about this. Did Granite Shares launch an MSTR product? Or was I seeing things? Again, I just can't handle, it's just a new fund every day. It's insanity. Anyway, MSTR, they went down 1.78%. MSTY, as we know, went down more, 1.98. Winter, not a great day for them, but they did go up, of course, 0.47%. They went up. Bitwise, IMST, they went down 1.57%. MST went down 3.93%. MS2, wow, didn't see this. How the hell? All right. I guess that's right. They went down 0.49%. That's pretty damn good on yesterday, man. Yesterday was bad. And then MSTW went down 2.19%. So MS2 with a clean victory, man. It whooped some ass yesterday. So good job, MS2. All right. So let's go to the reaction. I called out to the Misty gods yesterday, the MSTR gods. They did not answer. So we shall call them this weekend, right? All right, we'll see if that worked. Group D declares in 11 days on August 27th. How much we getting paid, bruh? I don't know, man. How about $1? $1 sound good? $1 good to you? Yeah, sweet. All right, so let's get to the payment details. You ready? Synthetic income sits at 52.4 mil. Total net income on the weeklies alone, 89 mil. Net income overall, 141 mil. That comes to 49 cents per share, baby. Is that good? Yeah, it's all right. All right, let's go to the Rotometer. Let's estimate this sucker up. All right, so again, we got the weeklies. We made about 31 cents. If they paid that, that is 22% yield. They're not paying that. Let's get real. Extrinsic income, 76 cents, 56% yield. Is that good? Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, what's total income? 49 cents, as we said, 36% yield. 30-day IV. We'll look at both IVs together. 30 days, 55. 7-day, 54. I think I woke up the baby. Damn. Whoops. So that would vary from 74 to 76 cents. And then we got the gains, bruh. It's all about the gains, and we just don't have any, right? Like I said, we've just been eating too much McDonald's, getting fat over the weekend here, and we're down. We're in the negative, son. It's not good. It's not pretty. Don't take your shirt off this weekend because there are no gains. All right, so negative 179. So you can say ouchie for that. All right, how you doing, Misty Holdings? Well, let's just say there have been better days. So let's take a look at their synthetic action. They got a 385, they got a 390, 395, 375, and a 410. Split out to various expiration dates. The three at the top expire on September 19th, and the October's on the bottom, October 17th. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. But all I can tell you is it's very expensive. If you look at the puts, what do they cost to close as of today? $616 million. All right. How much did the dudes have to their name? Let's see how much they got. They got 248 mil. So, is this a gold digger? What do you guys think? I don't know, man. It could be. It could be, right? So, what's a gold digger? Well, again, the lady's the put. That's why it's pink, right? Pink for the lady. And yeah, man, it's just a rough one, So, we got to pull this up here. All right. What does that mean? She take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger way over town that digs on me. Oh, all right, for real though. I mean, again, that was the low version of Gold Digger, right? Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, but not pretty. Not pretty. I mean, all right, let's move on. Let's get away from these gold diggers. They're just taking all of our money, you know. Let's look at the covered calls for next week. How we doing? Well, I mean, we want to go up next week, but not too much now. We are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% out of the money. So we are kind of scattered, but like I said, I don't know. If MSTR goes to the moon, yes, we got some credit call spreads, but MSTR hasn't done crap lately, so we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. All right, the value of the fund is decreasing. It's at 5.2 bill. The NAV is 1788. The trade price 1786. Oh my God! It's funny some of the responses I get on X when I post stuff. Misty going to 0. It's like, okay, am I actually supposed to respond to that? No, thank you. Anyway, synthetic contracts, they total 142,915. Okay, how many are they selling covered calls on? 113,000. All right. So they're selling covered calls on 79%. So approximately 20% or so, or to be exact, over here, 20.74% uncappity doodah. So that'll run with it up or down, essentially 1-to-1. And then obviously whatever the covered calls do, you know, they do. And then how much of the covered calls have protection, have insurance, have the butt buddy, have the buy call, the long call, right? 57%. So again, we'll see how it all works out next week. Oh, crap, it worked. I've been having trouble with the IMST formula. Not sure what's going on. Yeah, some of it's, yeah, he's awake for sure. I guess I do wake him up here, but what am I supposed to do? Can't go live then? That's no fun. All right, so let me zoom back in. All right. So I guess I gotta move this back. I don't know what the hell's going on with this stupid spreadsheet. Too many funds in here, right? It's gonna blow up one day. All right, let me shift this back over. Well, that didn't work. All right, let's try this. Come on, you pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. Happy Saturday, by the way. See your D. All right, there you go. All right, that kind of worked. All right, what do we got? Are these cover call? Yeah, one's a synthetic. I think the 1584 is the synthetic. Got to move that up. And this is nothing. All right, so covered calls, it looks like they got a 450 and a 470. They expire when? 9/19, a month out. So they went a month out. And way out, man. 450, 470. I think these may have been here though. But I love that. 22 and 28% out of the money, man. That is pretty sweet. But we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how that how it all goes. It's a while until that happens. MS2 actually has a position over the weekend, so okay, good. You know, good. This is how I would normally expect it. Obviously, what's their covered call for next week? 822 is next Friday, 3.84% out of the money. But again, that's only 50% of the position, as you know. So we'll see how that goes. MST, yes, it's Saturday, so I have to talk about MST. So what are they doing? Well, they got one position on a covered call. It expires next week. It's a 372.50, aggressive as hell, 1.69% out of the money. But to be honest, like they can go aggressive because they're leveraged. They're leveraged as hell. So even if they get capped, their leverage is going to help bring them up. So, you know, they could do whatever the hell they want, really. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And what do we got here? This is a call for 200. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's just part of their, you know, they got swappity doodahs. They own the underlying, you know, that's their leverage. All right. So they're doing what? 20% uncovered. So yeah. But the, yeah, they did not pay who was the one that paid? MSTW. I want to show you that one. They had a massive distribution. And I'm actually surprised on how much they paid. If you look And this is, I just checked the website like 3 times. They declared $1.39 yesterday, 8:15, which based on the current price, that is a 174% yield. I mean, damn. Like, did they mean to pay that? Like, that's an insane amount. If we go to the MSTR website, here it is, 139. Again, the prior payment, 78 cents. So what in tarnation? I got my 9-year-old saying that now too. What? So this is nuts. This is nuts. This is real. So I'm not sure what you guys think about that massive payment, but yeah, man, it's there. It's there. All right. So that ends the coverage on the MSTR funds. Now we'll get into the others, and we'll just we'll just go from there. Again, we're just cruising today. It's Saturday. It is what it is. I'm in well, I am kind of in a rush. I do want to get my ass to the gym, but I'm pretty damn tired today. I'm like a big slug today, just moving slowly. All right, so buy to close, 9 cents. Okay, they won that trade. What else they got? 11 cents. Buy to close, 10 cents, 7 cents. All right, they won all their trades. But again, yesterday was pretty red. So chump change, their calls cost chump change to close. They open new ones, of course. So those new credits netted with the expense to close the older trades. They made about 8.4 mil yesterday on TSLY, which is pretty good. All right, so let's go take a look at the price movement though and see how that went. All right, again, this is for the 1-day movement, close to close. Tesla went down 1.52%. TSLY went down 1.16%. All right, we'll take it, right? Again, we don't want to go down, but hey, at least we didn't go down as much as the underlying. How's the synthetic doing? Is it still worth money? Yeah. Again, they have 2 synthetics at 290 and at 295. Tesla's at 330. So yeah, that thing is worth some money. We'll get into that in a second. Covered calls for next week for TSLY. Let's see how you doing. Well, they are scattered, but yeah, not that far out of the money. They go anywhere from 2 to 5% out of the money. Lowest strike being 337.50. So we'll see how the week goes. Let's see what the value of TSLY is. It's 1.1 bill, right? A bill. The NAV 775, trade price 774. Synthetic. On the paper, it's worth 98 cents per share. Is that good? Sure. Sweetly. All right. Who says that? Come on. More trivia. Who says sweetly? All right. 30-day IV, 43%. 7-day IV, about the same, 43%. So their IV estimate looking to be around 26 cents. So I'm pretty sure people would not be ecstatic for a 26-cent payment, but what can you do, man? TSLY going down. It's going down. What can you do, bro? But yeah, man, we'll see. The income estimate so far, it's negative, so nothing to show there. But Group A declares in 18 days. Oh, brother got it. I knew he'd get it. Yep, Three Stooges. All right, so let's move on to Nvidia. For the Nvidia nerds that watch my channel, hello, welcome. Let's scroll up and let's see. Oh yeah, freaking trades, man. Look at this. Is this active management? Yeah, I think so. Why is the expense so high? Well, look at this. Do you want to do this? If you want to do this, go ahead. Have fun. Look at this insanity. This is insanity. All right, so what do we got? Buy call, sell put, sell call. All right, so they're adding to the synthetic. All right, that's wonderful. Now here, let's look at the buy to close and 4 cents. Buy to close, 2 cents. Buy to close, 2 cents. Okay, a penny, 2 cents. I mean, basically, they won their freaking trades. They basically kept that whole credit that they got when they opened these trades, which was probably last week. They basically kept the whole thing because look, they're paying 2 cents a share, 1 cent a share, and when they opened it, they probably made like $1, $2. So this is a winning day. Don't feel like a winning day, right? Because the stock market's down. But again, covered call strategy, win. How much did they make yesterday? They made a realized income of 8.2 mil. So that's pretty good. All right, Nvidia nerds, let's see how you did on the price movement. Did you do better than Nvidia? Nvidia went down 0.87%. Nvidia went down almost as much though, but they did beat Nvidia. They went down 0.83%. So yeah, but yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's go up. Let's check out the holdings. What do you think about their synthetic? Their synthetic is still fantastic because they have a 165 and a 170. How's it doing? Well, it's, I mean, awesome because Nvidia is at 180. So obviously this synthetic, it expires in a month and 3 days, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if the market keeps selling off or what it does. I don't know, man. We'll track it. All right. How about our covered calls for next week? Only 3 strikes actually. Lowest is 182.50. Highest is 187.50. 1, 2, and 3% out of the money. Yeah, that's, you know what that is, guys. Tie. All right, so let's go look at the value of the fund. Almost 2 bill, bruh. Almost 2 bill. It's 1.9 bill. Wow, they're gonna hit 2 bill next week, for sure. All right, the NAV is 16.93. Trade price same. All right, synthetic bailout money. How much we got? How much we got, bruh? We got 147 mil. That comes to $1.29 per share. So I like it. Do you like it? All right. What about the 30-day IV? 43%. Forward IV, 7-day forward? Yuck, 34%. So that brings an IV estimate anywhere from 45 to 57 cents. I updated the income estimate now that we got the rest of the weekend, a full weekend. 12 cents per share is how much they made. And they're part of Group B. They literally just paid you on the Friday, but they'll declare again in 25 days on September 10th. So stay tuned for that, Chico. All right, so let's go to CONY. By the way, for those of you that are here live with me on X and on YouTube, if you would kindly share, feel free, repost it, reshare it on YouTube. Right now we got 427. Not sure how many are on YouTube or how many are on X, but again, I know it's early, Saturday morning. Nobody wants to freaking get up at this time. But hey, it's what works for me. And if not, people can watch it later, which is good. So, but anyway, if you are live, thank you for being here. And if you would like to share it, feel free. Tell your friends, All right. So, oh my goodness. All right. We're going to talk about CONY, but I think I need another sip of coffee. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Buy, call, sell, put. All right. So they're adding to what? To their synthetic. All right. That's okay. Now, what about their covered calls? Well, I would imagine they won, right? Stock market went down. Let's see. Buy to close. They paid 2 cents per share on that one, 2 cents on that one, 7 cent. Again, that strike was a little lower, but still winner. 4 cent. Just so, FYI, like, again, look at the strike, 325, right? What's this? What they close at? 317.50. So why is it 7 cents? Well, again, it depends on the time of day that they close, right? So they may have closed it earlier in the day. If they close this at, say, 3:58, which they're not going to wait that long, but if they did, this would definitely be a penny, right? At most be a penny, because there's not zero, but there is almost zero probability of this hitting this number. So that means they closed this one out a little earlier in the day. So that's the 7 cents is essentially the time value. I know we don't talk Greeks here, but like this, what is that? Theta, right? But I guess it is what it is. But that's why you see like all of these realistically are worth a freaking penny, if you ask me. But yeah, they did have some time value, some hope left in them, and that's why we paid a little more. 2 cents, 1 cent. This one 4 cents, right? 2 cents, 1 penny. But look at the strike on that one, 340. Again, it all depends on the time, the strike, things like that. 4 cents. So the moral of the story is they won their trades. All right, their covered calls for last week, the credit that they got last week, they basically earned it all. They get it up front, right? They collect the money that goes into the cash bucket. But, when it comes down to closing it out for the week, they basically paid nothing, honey. All right. So how much did we make on CONY yesterday? Well, we made about 14.2 mil. Oh, yeah. All right. So anyway, that's a lot on CONY. But by the way, if you're a CONY investor, you pretty much know you're a CONY head, right? I hope you guys know that. So when you tell your friends or you talk to other people about CONY, just make sure they know that you're a CONY head. And by the way, CONY heads, they speak. So make sure you mention that as well. If they look at you funny, don't worry about it. Then they just don't get it. Okay. How did Coin do yesterday? They went down 2.31%. CONY went down 1.63%. Fantastic. That's a good day. Again, for a red day, that's a good day because it beat the underlying pretty good. All right. So how's their synthetic doing? Well, they got a 320. They got a 320. All right. 2 expiration dates. That's cool. One expires next month. The other expires in October. All right. Coin's at 317. It's a little behind, but it's okay, man. It's okay. We got time. As they say, time. Oh, I need some water. See, my voice did too much singing already. Is on my side. Yes, it is. All right. So CONY, how you doing? Well, let's see. We got some strikes here. We got a 330, the lowest one. The lowest one is 3.92% out of the money. The highest one is a 347% out of the money. So they are kind of scattered, right? And yeah, are they safe for next week? No. Is anyone safe for next week? No. But we'll see how the week goes. The value of the fund is 1.3 billion. The NAV is 736, and the trade price 735. Whole penny off. Synthetic on the paper, it's actually worth almost nothing. It's almost a wash, a clean wash. All right, we'll take that. It's all right. 30-day IV, 55%. Forward IV, 56. So again, that comes to be about 31 cent to 32 cent. Their income estimate based on recognized income, realized income for this 4-week cycle, wah, wah, wah. They are negative. Prognosis negative. I know you guys know where that's from. All right. So Group C declares in 4 days. Oh, my goodness. You know what that means? Tomorrow, I got to make a freaking guesstimate, and it ain't going to be pretty. Don't yell at me. Don't blame the messenger. But they will truly declare next week on Wednesday on August 20th. Okay. Okay. Okay, Cletus. All right. So that's the coverage on CONY. Up next is your boy, the SMCY suckers. So we'll see how they doing. I'm sure they had trades. So let's get to the trades. All right. So we're going to scroll down to the S's because we know our alphabet here, right? I think somewhat. We are degenerates, but we know a little something. All right. So what do we got? Buy to close. 1 penny. Why? Again, look at the strike. 48. Look at the close price. 45.37. So this thing is worth a penny. This one, 2 penny. All right, fine. 2 penny. Again, they both 48 strike. So obviously this position, they closed a little earlier in the day. So they had to pay that extra penny. Again, who's counting pennies? I know we are, but still, I'm just trying to explain. Hopefully that helps. But again, you guys got to let me know on the feedback. Feel free to always type a video question. You got to start with the word video question, type in your question, and I'll pull it up on the next video. All right. And I know I answered a lot of them on the Monday recap. The Monday recap, in case you haven't been here, is gone. We eliminated the Monday recap. It is now the morning show with me and someone, a guest. Well, there may not be a guest all the time, right? It may just be me talking about whatever the hell I want or wherever the conversation leads. Like I'll go whatever the live people want to talk about. We're going to pull up, we're going to do. But if it's a guest, we're going to interview them. I'm going to interview them. You're going to interview them. It could be finance people, or it could be random ass people. It could be just influencers that do other things, or it could be you guys, right? And so I would love to have one of you guys, up here just to hear, journeys. Like, what's your goal? How did you find out about this? How did it change how you invest? Are you retired now? What's your goals? This, that, the other thing. I think it's good to hear from, the peoples, right? After all, we are the people's champ, right? Anyway, so let's get to the coverage here. SMCI, how they do? They went down. Shocker. Everything freaking went down, but they only went down 0.26%. And SMCY went down more. Well, no, thank you. Thank you for nothing, SMCY. They went down 0.41%. So again, you can't win them all. It's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there another day. All right. So how's their synthetic doing? Well, 45 bucks. That's at the money. 60. That's a gold digger. She take my money. Yeah, I'm not singing that whole thing again, but man, that is a gold digger. She taking our money. We'll see though. We'll see how that goes. We got a month. All right. What about their covered calls? Oh, I color coded these wrong. Yeah, I'm not doing I'm kind of half asleep here, right? Blue is the sell call, right? Cover call. Green is the buy call, the long call, what makes the credit call spread, right? As we call them, the butt buddy, right? Because they just hang out there. They won't, what are they doing? They're like attached here. So they are the backup. They are the insurance in case we get blown through. Are we going to get blown through at these strikes? Very possible. They are 2% and 3% out of the money. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see how it goes next week. And we'll take it from there. All right, what's the value of this fund? Not much. 330 mil. The NAV 1693. Trade price 1695. Synthetic on the paper negative. We ain't gonna go there. 30-day IV 55%. 7-day IV 53%. So how you doing? Well, we're doing we're looking like a 70 to 73% payment. They declare in 11 days, by the way, not next week, but the week after. They're with Misty. Their income estimate, though, is 179. So there's kicking ass. They usually do kick ass. It's just that their underlying tanks every now and then. And then we're playing catch up again. So you got to believe in the underlying. And if you have a crappy underlying, I'm not saying this is a crappy underlying, but, it does go down a lot lately. It's just tough, and it's tough. And again, this fund did launch at $50. It's now at $16.93. But again, the timing of the launch was horrible because the auditor news came out and down it went. Down goes Frazier, right? So it was not pretty. All right, up next, we're gonna talk about PLTY. All right, P to the L to the T to the Y, your best friend. All right, let's go to the trades. Did they have trades? Well, I'll let you guess. Yes, they did. All right. Again, look for the pink, the buy to close, the 3 cents. All right, 3 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents. That's a winner. That is a winner by a long shot. What do you guys think? They didn't pay a penny, but they still won. So not bad, not bad at all. What else? What else are they doing? Again, whatever they close, the covered calls, they're gonna reuse them. They don't have to reuse all of them, but it looks like they reused all of them. They opened new positions for next week. Next Friday is an 8/22 expiration. You can see that under the expiration date. But in the end, they generated a credit yesterday of about 3.3 million. So we'll take it, man. We'll see if we can actually earn it all truly when they close out the positions next week. But we will track that. That's why we're here, right? That's why you're here. All right. So anyway, Palantir, how you doing? Well, they went down. They went down 2.17%. PLTY went down 1.69. Okay, that's all right. Right? PLTY Posse beat the underlying. No surprise. We usually whoop that ass, right? Anyway, what's the synthetic worth? 140. All right. What's Palantir at? 177. So obviously their synthetic is worth some serious freaking bank, bro. All right. So what's our cover call situation? Well, it ain't pretty. The lowest strike is 1.6% out of the money. And then we got a 3, and then we got a 4. So we are not kind of scattered-do, and I don't know. We don't want Palantir to go to the moon next week. Not really. Maybe up a little bit. All right. So what's the value of the fund? 651 mil. Okay, whatever. The NAV is 61.37. Trade price 67. What happened to the $70? Well, they paid out a massive freaking distribution. That's what happened. All right. What about the synthetic? On the paper, it's worth 138 mil. That comes to 14.30 per share. All right. But again, they just paid you. All right. They just paid you. Their 30-day IV is 45%. 7 days, 43. That comes to a 228 to 238 payment. Income estimate, they sit at what? 20 cent. Again, they just started this week. But Group B, they don't declare for another 25 days on September 10th. How much is that payment going to be? I think it's going to be good again. I think it's going to be above $5 again. I'm calling it right now. I don't care. This fund is a beast of a beast. and there is money to be paid. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, as they say. All right, guess what? It's ULTY time. It's time. It's time. It's ULTY time. All right, so if you're a wrestling fan, you probably know whose entrance music that is. If not, then guys got to get with it. All right, so I had to take a sip of water. All right, what do we got? We got actually not much. ULTY surprisingly did not do much yesterday. So fantastic, right? Fantastic. Well, not really for me. I don't really cover it in detail, but yeah, look at this. Look at this thing. What is this? This is a little bit. All right, what's all this activity? That's it. We could fit ULTY on one page. All right. Is that wonderful? Yeah, it's pretty wonderful. All right, anyway, let's go back to the file and see what they actually did. It looks like they made some money on AMAT. In fact, since they only have a few trades, let's see what they did. Buy to close call, sell put, short sell. Where is it? Sell put, sell put. Oh my goodness. The put generated 6.9 mil. So downside protection, did it help? Looking like it. Looking like it, assuming these numbers are in line and are correct. But damn, those puts be cashing out. So that's a pretty good payment. But yeah, as we know, the market did tank. So, you know, when you buy puts for the downside protection, it actually does work. Again, the reason I like ULTY because I don't buy puts. I'm not an options buyer. I don't buy calls. I don't buy puts. So I don't do the downside protection, you know, in that manner. So owning ULTY, I like that they do that because it's something that, you know, I wouldn't normally do myself. However, they are investing in some degenerate plays, but that's okay. They're earning some options premium in the process. Oh, there's your little Target. I wonder if they sold out of Target now. I think Target had earnings early or later in the week, so let's check and see if they dropped out of Target. But anyway, ULTY made about 5.9 mil yesterday. All right, let's see if this holdings is actually updated. Shoot, the sum of the weighting should be, yeah, it's 100%. All right, Target's still there, 3%. Do we want it? Do we still want it there? I guess so. All right, Tesla's there, microcomputer. Nerdy ass companies, you know. MSTR is here. Oh, Oklo's there. We like Oklo. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my mind. All right, so that's pretty much it. All right, let's see the value of the fund. I always pull that up now. 3.3 bill. It's catching up to Misty. It's catching up to Misty. Is it going to catch Misty by end of year? By end of, I don't know. Probably. At this rate, I didn't think I'd, you know, see that, but damn. I mean, damn. All right, so that's the coverage on YieldMax. All right, that's the coverage on all the YieldMax funds that I cover, which I think that's enough, right? And so now what we're going to do, we're going to get to the other part of the video where we talk about my options trades. All right, because it's all about me and mine. So, but before I even get to that, I saw a new fund launch. It's called Wild Vista Shares Animal Spirits Daily 2X. Interesting fund, man. Interesting fund. Actually, maybe I'll pull it up. Wild ETF. It's Vista Shares, right? Yeah. So let's pull it up real quick. All right, we'll pull it up for you guys. So this is it. Wild Vista Shares. Cool, man. Purple. I like the purple. What do they do? Well, let's see. I didn't really get a chance to look at it, but I like whenever I see a leveraged fund, my eyes open. So here's the current exposure. They own Hims and Hers, Palantir, Tesla, Apple, Google. So that's a pretty good variation. I mean, Hims and Hers, that's super volatile. Palantir's decently volatile. Tesla's decently volatile. Apple and Google, not so much. So quite the gang right there. Quite the gang. What is Animal Spirits? Blah, blah, blah. All right, I fell asleep. All right, so obviously, you know, it doesn't really, I don't know. It's basically, it's a 2X fund on what though? you know, they have a fact sheet. Let's pull that up. Maybe we won't fall asleep on the fact sheet. All right. So behavioral, psychological factor. All right. Whatever. It looks like they're going to invest in probably 5 different funds, based on behavioral and psychological factors, whatever the hell that means. All right. But whatever. It's a cool fund. It's a 2X fund, which I was hoping they'd own a little more than 5 stocks, but I think more and more funds are coming out with stuff like this, which is pretty cool. Why is it pretty cool? Well, I trade options on crap like this all the time, so that would fit right into the mold. All right, so let's get into my trades. All right, so I have MSTY. As you know, MSTY went down yesterday, and I had a chance to close out my calls. Again, I sold covered calls on my shares, and they expired 8/29. I could have closed out all 3. I decided not to. I only closed out the 20 because it was super cheap, right? I closed it out yesterday, 8/15. So it's actually within the same week I opened it. So when I opened it, I made what, $40, and I had to pay $8 to close it. So I kept 80% of the profit in a short period of time. Because remember, this expired not next week, but the week after. So that was a no-brainer to close that out early, keep 80% of the profit, and it actually annualized me now 102%. Before it was like 30 or 40, but based on the closure, it was a quick profit on the MSTY trade. So yeah, man, a good quick trade. Again, I could have closed the other ones, and I may regret it if MSTY goes up. But you know what? I honestly, it was too much money. It was too much money, and it just wasn't worth it. Not to mention, I was at the theme park yesterday with the children, so it was almost impossible to make some trades throughout the day. All right, so let's go to T to the S to the L to the Ale. Let's see. I'm gonna need more coffee. Yeah, let me take a sip of coffee. All right. So what do we have expiring yesterday? These two. We had a TSLL put, a TSLL call, $12 strike on both of them. I didn't touch them, just so you know. I didn't touch them. So what happened? Well, right, what's TSLL price? It closed at $12.19. $12.19 is above $12, obviously. So the put I sold at 12. This thing, if you go to the right, it expired worthless. So what does that mean when it expires worthless? Well, when I sold the put at 12, that cost me $1,200 and pending, I had to put up $1,200. I got the $1,200 back. So that simply just sits in the overall cash bucket. All right. And then I had a $12 call. Since TSLL closed above $12, obviously this got assigned and 100 shares got sold at $12. That's it. Simple as that. All right. So yeah. And everything else expires in the future. I'm not going to get into those, but I just want to show you, I did update total number of shares that I own, 700, and all 700 still have covered calls, down to the assignment. So if I go here, I did have a $12 cost basis that was open. That got assigned, so I put that there. Capital gains or losses, 0. So that was a wash. So I was okay with doing that. However, as you can see, my future cost basis, I still have a 16. That's the next lowest one. So ideally, I'm trying to sell covered calls, piecemeal it. And you can see it goes, my cost basis up here really sucks, right? So what I can do is I can try to continue to lower my cost basis by selling more puts, possibly aggressively, right? We'll see, and we'll go from there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But right now, I have 700 shares open with 700, all 700 with cover calls. All right, so I made about 180 for the week on TSLL. Oh yeah, MSTY, I made 32 for the week. All right, now on to TNA coverage. Again, this is the other one that I trade. All right, what expired yesterday? I had 2 covered calls expiring yesterday, one at 35, one at 41. We closed at 38.04. I decided to not do anything on either one. So the 35, what happened with that? Well, it got assigned. It got sold at $35 per share. So I got 3,500 in my account. Fantastic, right? And then the 41, that one expired worthless because that strike was well above what it closed at. So what happened with that? I freed up 100 shares to sell covered calls on. So if I go down here, I can show you now. I now own 500. It was 600. I now own 500 shares of TNA. 400 have covered calls. So I do have $100, not $100, but one contract essentially I could sell for next week. So if TNA opens super green on Monday, I'm all for it, man. I'll be selling calls. I'll be like, sweet. All right. So the call that got sold yesterday, I had a 33 as the lowest cost basis. Again, I have lowest cost basis going out first. All right. So the 35 that got sold, that was a profit. Actually, that was a capital gain of $200, which again, I don't care about capital gains as much, but I'll take it when I can get it. I just don't want to have a capital loss, which as you can see up here, I did have one, right? We're all in the same wheel. So this 200 actually did help offset the damage on this 1400 and this 900 earlier on when there was some damage in the calls. All right, so how much did I make on TNA for the week? Let's go down here. I made about $254. So weekly income, in the end, I made $466, which my goal was 224. Is that good? It's okay, right? It's real good, actually. You know, it's a surplus of 241. So not bad. So for the month, right, we have 5 weeks in this month. So far, the 3 weeks of the 5, I am ahead 879. So I don't have to trade really, to be honest, the next 2 weeks, and I'm still at my goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade safely. That's what I've been doing. I've been trading pretty safe. Occasionally, yeah, you get the urge to do some aggressive plays. The only time I would do an aggressive play now is if I need the cash, I would sell aggressive calls, if that makes sense. All right, so now I would need to update the balance to see where I'm at. And let me do that in a second. I should probably put the music on, right? I'll do it when we do Q&A. All right, so, okay. Account value, it went down, so it's now at 53,624.43. Available cash, it went up again. I accepted some assignment, so I collected some cash yesterday. We're at what, 16,000 now, so that's good. So cash is now at 31%. That's pretty good. Pending puts, let's see what that's at. I got 8,400, right? Cash, yeah, 8,400. So that went down a little bit, and we got actual cash is now at 88,500, 16% of the overall balance. That's okay. You know, it's not fantastic. It's okay. The withdrawable margin that went up 22,672. Again, this is the amount I can actually just withdraw from my account if I wanted to use it. And then you have the trading margin. This is the amount that I can actually just trade within the fund, all right, if I wanted to. But again, I don't use the trading margin. I use the withdrawable margin because I do pay bills out of this account. And when I say bills, I just mean the mortgage. So that is the only bill that does come out of this account, if that makes sense. All right, so that's the coverage on my options. That's the coverage on MSTY. That's the coverage on my options, and that's pretty much everything. So we could do some Q&A. If you guys want to start, if you guys have any questions, feel free to bring them up. I'm gonna, well, actually, maybe I'll just go like 5-10 more minutes, and then we'll go from there. I see Sunita's still here. Medium Rod, yeah, he's pain in the ass. He's recovering, but he needs to get out of that freaking house. Well, we got him out of the house yesterday, luckily, but thank you for asking. All right, so I'm just catching up on some comments. You guys want me to cover anything, or should we call it a day? You want to talk about the group thing? School, yeah, it does. Oh man, I mean that's good, but it's good and bad. It's because homework, man. The amount of homework they give now, it's not even fair. I feel like they're pushing the effort on the freaking parents. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so what else we got? What do we want to pull up? The indexes I trade, or the watch lists. I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right. All right. So let's see. Here's a question from Blood Moon on YouTube. How do you feel about selling covered calls on funds as low as ULTY, and cash secure puts? What's the IV on ULTY actually? Let me plug it in and see what it says. ULTY. It doesn't even show the IV on ULTY. It's weird. My guess is the IV is probably not worth it to sell options on them. It doesn't matter what the price is really, but it matters what the yield is. And you said cash secure puts. What, doing puts on ULTY? No, I don't think that's necessary. I'm not doing that. But can you look at Bitwise ICOI, please? Trying to figure out if there is a gold digger. Well, unfortunately, those formulas are not working for those. ICOI ETF. Let me see something. All right, I got here. All right, ICOI. Let's see. This is Bitwise. Okay. You want to see if there's a gold digger. Let's see who we got. We got 3 ladies. Wow, look at that. Didn't they? I think that one guy left Bitwise, but portfolio head of index. All right. Let's see. Did I pass the holdings? Oh, there they are. Okay. So where's the synthetic? They got the put right there. All right. So how many contracts? 430. There's the call, 430. All right. So here's the synthetic, right? Let's see if I can highlight it. Can you see that? Who asked this question? Rod, of course. Rod L. All right. So there's a synthetic. It's at a 320. Coin is at what? I think. Oh, no. Wait. The put is at 300. Okay. So they have 2 synthetics, a 300 and a 320. Coin is at what? It's almost at 320, isn't it? So let's see. The $300 call is worth, where is it? 156,000. The put, it only costs 63,000 to close. And then you look at the 320, the call is worth 912,000 and the put costs 956. So no gold digger here, if that's what you're asking, Rod. No gold digger. They're actually in a good spot. Question: why do new ETFs keep coming out when they could just perfect the ones out? So, guys, we have to. This question comes up way too much, and I just think it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I do, and the reason is, think of it like a company, which they are. They're a company and they're growing, right? So if a company does well and they make money, they want to expand. When they make a new fund, just consider that expansion. But it's not like if they expand, they just pull everyone thin, like they stretch everyone so thin that they can't do their jobs as good as they have been. Obviously, if they expand, you would expect that they would hire new staff. So if they add new funds and new funds and new funds, then yeah, they should add new staff. But yeah, obviously you want the same quality staff that they have now. But, you got to trust the process. You got to trust, hopefully, the fund managers. They know what to ask for. They know who to hire. But I just don't understand why people keep asking that question, because why not expand, right? Why not add new funds? Plus, not to mention, it's good for YieldMax. So if you're a YieldMax investor, you would also appreciate it. Hopefully that helped, Richard. Not trying to be a dick or anything. I'm just trying to explain. All right. So ICOI is trash. Look at how it done. Well, again, hold on. I got to take a sip. I was supposed to put music on, wasn't I? Low. I'll do that. I do like 20. I'll do 22. Can you guys hear the music? All right. So, yeah, AD, it depends on the underlying. So if the underlying tanked, obviously ICOI will tank. All right. Sunita, again, the coolest name ever. Do you have an opinion on the TIFF that Roundhill picked with YieldMax? I heard about it. Oh, whatever, man. They're I know they're tweeting away. My fund's better than yours. Your fund's this. You know, it is what it is, man. It's exposure for them. So any exposure, as they say, is good exposure. I think some people enjoy it, but I don't think YieldMax, my opinion, is that they have to even respond, right? They're the bigger fund. If you're the bigger fund, you don't have to acknowledge anyone. So if people are calling you out, like Roundhill, Rec Shares, you know, these companies, they should do what they're doing, right? Because they're calling the bigger dog out, but the bigger dog does not have to acknowledge them. That's kind of the point I'm getting at. All right. Rod L's always got questions. Should the negative put number for the synthetic be higher or lower than the value of the synthetic? Well, the negative put number, like again, on the 300, the negative put number is 63,000, right? The call for the 300 is 156,000. So the negative put number, it's less than the call because coin is above that strike price of 300. So that's why the put number is less, right? It's cheaper to close, right? Because the price of the underlying is above the synthetic, strike of the put. All right, let's keep going. Did Jay say, I don't think they filed for it, right? I forget. We did ask it on the interview. Honestly, don't remember. So number smaller. Yeah, I guess. What did we stop? Is this the last of the questions? Because they make money on the more fun. Yeah, exactly. They want more money. Show me the money. It is good for YieldMax if the funds they launch are flying, not great. Well, yeah, they don't want, like, I don't want them launching crappy funds, right? Like Carvana. I was not happy with Sivney. I know it's volatile, but you know, as they grow, you know, each fund will be such a small percentage and won't even matter as much. Brother says we live in an age of clickbait and nonsense by talking about it. Yeah, but it's it's something to acknowledge, right? They are acknowledging each other. They may all be friends in the background too, but yeah, they all want a piece of the action. They all want the YieldMax was first here, so they already got a head start. So everyone is playing catch up. So they got to do what they got to do. But people love drama, man. I know you guys know that, and it's just nuts. Slow, yeah, we're slow. Only 700 today, right? Usually Saturday gets busier, but I did start early, so maybe that's why. All right. Anything else, or should we just close this out? I was gonna have someone on, but I think they're sleeping. But any options questions? Any YieldMax questions? Oh my God, I actually answered Rod L's questions. So that's good. All right. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Billy Gang. I don't think I saw this name. All right. So his brother is not persuaded by appeals to emotion, only results. Show me better funds. I'll show you My money. Give me one sec. All right. Anything else, guys? Or should we call it a day? Should we just go to bed? By go to bed, I mean go to the gym. Any guesstimates for Group C? Where are we at? Let's see. Who's in Group C? Any big dogs? Well, Hui. Oh my goodness. I'm surprised no one asked about Hui, because Hui is yeah. Hui's the man. He's the man in Group C. CONY was, not anymore. But Hui, they have made 24.2 mil, and that comes to 740 per share. And yeah, man, that's nuts. PP, they made money. Well, Carvani made money, and Abney made money. So yeah, we're looking at a decent payment. But Hui 650, Hui more than 5, Hui 5. That's why I like the dry series. Yeah, I know. I missed doing that series. It took a lot of work though. Like it really, I had to spend like, I don't know how I had time for it now. I look back, but yeah, hopefully someday. That would be more. It's definitely not a weekly thing you can keep track of. It's more of like a once a quarter video. Dre. Is Dre in Group C? Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say. Let's see. We go here, right? How do we tell who's in what group? Well, you go to distribution schedule, and you go all the way to the bottom, and it'll show you all the suckers out there. Dre is in Group C. All right, good call out there. Yeah, I did not add Dre because I'm sleeping. So let's see. Let's add Dre. I'm gonna have to update the holdings though. All right, so Dre, CONY's the same though. Dre, Fiat. Did Dre make money? No. Okay, they did not make money, unfortunately. Let's look at Abney. Might as well plug it in now, right? We can get prepared for tomorrow's video. Where's Abney? Abney outstanding shares. They made about 19 cents per share. Again, we know about CONY, Carvani. Let's see what their shares are. $1.8 mil. What they got? Oh, damn. Holy crap. Wow. What the hell happened to that stock? The thing freaking rolling. All right. Hui, we just had. We'll update it again. Hui's making some serious bank, as we know. Robinhood's a good platform, man. They're awesome. They made 7.4. See, Group C, man, they got some heavy hitters. And then there's PP. Let's see what this comes to. Probably not much. Oh, I gotta update the formula. There we go. No, yeah, whopping 9 cents. All right, so going on. All right, so let's see. Let's scroll up. All right, so that's the coverage on Group C's. And then we'll go from there. All right. What else? So yeah, we'll do a guesstimate video tomorrow, and then we'll we'll pretty much take it from there. Blood Moon, Nav Erosion, blah blah blah. All right. So I think we're gonna end it here. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, then come back tomorrow and definitely be entertained. All right. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. Obviously, if you have any questions or concerns, then I'll leave them down below. All right. Sound good? Great. All right. What else? Keyword time. We'll just end it there. If you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. I don't know who Billy Gang is, but yes, and good for you. All right. But anyway, so what's the keyword today? All right. Oh, is that is that JAX? That's pretty funny if it is actually. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's my nephew messing with me here, asking if my son is awake. But yeah, that's pretty funny. And I had a feeling about that. Weird, nice YouTube name. But anyway, guys, what's the keyword? Is the keyword? Well, don't give your name. Should delete that. But anyway, yes, we know. The keyword, I guess, is Jackson, since he decided to join the live stream. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. The keyword is I am Jackson. All right. Jackson. He's 10 years old, so to give you an idea. But anyway, I'm out of here. Hopefully everyone has a good day, and we will talk tomorrow. Sound good? All right, later.